In the fantastic world of JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, there are a lot of stories, and within those stories there are side stories, and within those side stories there are what we call spin-offs. Now, me personally, I like to think of these spin-offs as semi-canon because even though Araki did not write them, he still worked on them in one way or another. Whether that be helping with character ideas or characters themselves or illustrating the whole spin-off, he helped. And that leads into the spin-off we're going to talk about today, Purple Haze Feedback. Now, this is one of my personal favorite JoJo spin-offs, and also if you don't know how many JoJo spin-offs there are, and you want me to make a video on that, let me know, but like, there's 10 plus notable ones, with a good amount of them being sold in various places around the world. I'm pretty sure the United States got Devilman's Questions, which if they do, I'm going to have to check on that, because if they do, that will need to be added to my manga collection. Y'all see this manga collection right here? I need that. Purple Haze Feedback was released on September 16th, 2011, and it also has a video game. I just wanted to add that in. It's just something really interesting I thought about. It has a video game that was on the PS3, I think. But this light novel basically is about Fugo and what he did after the events of Golden Wind. Basically 6 months after the events, we already know Giorno's the boss, and Fugo is escorted to meet Mista, where Mista tells him, hey, we need you to kill this guy or we're gonna kill you. But the guy they tell him to kill is who will end up being the main antagonist of this story, and his stand, manic depression, which causes you to go virtually insane after ingesting the drugs because he's a part of the narcotics department, was said to be so powerful and was the sole cause of the issue within Italy with the drug problem. Because again, if you take it, you basically go insane. Now, I'll be honest, I haven't reread the novel in several years in full. I reread bits and pieces over the years, but never in full. At least not for a long time. But some of the things that I do like is definitely the new stands that we see throughout this. Even though I mentioned manic depression in a sarcastic way, I think it actually is a very strong and very good stand. Like when you go to abilities for manic depression, it says neurochemical manipulation. What the fuck? Like one of its abilities is that it turns salt into opioids, and after, you know, doing what you do with said things, the salt turns back 2 weeks later. So after it's in your body, it turns back to salt. It can also speed up your heart rate, increase how your body works and how it moves, only for it to break down, and do a lot more fun, very fun things. I also like Sheila E. and her stand Voodoo Child. Now, even though at first I thought her stand was kind of dumb, like, being real, if you can put lips on everything, what can that do? But the more you learn about her abilities and learn how essentially it's almost like a lasso of truth when it comes to the lips, you can learn that it's very versatile. For example, if it were to punch you, it could extract your deepest, darkest secret. Like I said, the lasso of fucking truth. But if you're someone who has a gag with it, like Batman with the lasso of truth, and how whenever Wonder Woman puts it on him, he always just says, I'm fucking Batman. Can we not go through this shtick? Some people can break out of Voodoo Child and just evade the ability. But that, again, only happens if you're just like a heartless monster. You just don't feel guilt for any actions or things that have happened in your past. So, again, it's a very hard ability to break out of, but you could. But like I was saying, it's a very good light novel. You know, you have mentions of the Stone Mash, you have mentions of the Speedwagon Foundation. You get to see more of Fugo's characters, something that a lot of fans crave after watching part 5. Because even when I was watching part 5, I wanted to see more of what Purple Haze could do. I wanted to see more of what was Fugo's character. Why was he always so short-tempered and hot-headed? And while, of course, this doesn't answer every question you can have about Fugo's character, it's a nice building block towards something more of a character you can get from him. You can get the sense that he's learning and he's changing and he's actually coming to terms with learning how to use his stand. Not only that, coming to terms with the state of his actions and the state of his past. We get revealed his past, which is even worse than the one we saw in the anime. Now, even though everything that happened in the anime still happened in the anime, we learned that he never felt loved by anyone except his grandmother. Literally, the only singular person in the world that he felt loved by was his grandmother. Now, this is where the light novel kind of differentiates, because when you look at the backstory, they have different reasons as to why Fugo did what he did to that professor. Now, if you watch the anime version, you know that the professor was essentially trying to coerce him into doing some very naughty activities, especially as a minor. But in this light novel, essentially, the professor starts making fun of his grandmother, and Fugo doesn't take that very kindly or lightly. And that causes him to smash a book over the professor's head, kicking him out and sending him to jail, thus where he meets Bruno Bucciarati. Now, I'm pretty sure in the anime he did not meet Bruno in the prison. Y'all can fact check me on that. But I know in the light novel, he did. But there's also times throughout the story where you also see him look back on his time with the whole group, the entire Passion group, and how he realized how his actions were somewhat cowardice because he didn't understand why they would go out their way to save Trish, nor did he want to do it. But he knew they did the right thing, causing a revolt, changing everything. Essentially, he knew at the end of the day, that was the thing he should have did. But he was just too afraid. Now, some of you always ask about Purple Haze. Well, why doesn't Fugo use Purple Haze like that? And the short answer is, he can die too. I don't know if a lot of people forget this, but Purple Haze poison, it's not like it doesn't affect him. It affects Fugo in full effect. He feels the effects. He doesn't want to feel the effects. And honestly, I don't think I can blame a 16-year-old kid who got put in jail for something bad happening to him. Either way, if you look at it, either way, I can't do that. But in the end, you know, by the end of the story, we do see Giorno finally see Fugo for the first time since Golden Wind and Fugo left. Where Giorno tells him that he always saw the super potential in Fugo and tells him essentially he did all this to help him get over his fear. He wanted him to overcome his demons, so he sent him on a death mission. But he survived. And by the end of the light novel, we see Fugo pledging undying loyalty to him. And that's it. Now, of course, I recommend giving this a read for yourself. It's definitely a really good read. I think myself, I'll probably end up rereading it one day, and who knows, one day this video may be remade. But that day will not come anytime soon. I will tell you that right now. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We're on the road to 2K, and we are very close right now. We're only 30 subs away. So, until next time, peace.